staying with the issue of strongholds and mobilization,
Yes.
Pre-election stuff, you talked about PDP mobilizing or campaigning with funds and all of that.
Yes.
And APC basically working with propaganda
Yes.
and ability. But let's begin with the funds part. Both parties appear to have raised quite a lot of money for their presidential campaigns.
Yes.
Do you think the funds played that much of a role in swaying the votes? Especially, let's look at a particular state, for instance, Benue State, where that was not normally believed to be a PDP stronghold, but it went to the APC.
Yes. The Benue State had internal problems and internal crisis. Strong men like Gemade, for example, were not in accord, with the governor. And the consequence of that is that they try to go their own separate way, and they try to use the opportunity available to always checkmate the governor. So it was a crisis. A house divided against itself might not stand or cannot stand. That's what happened in Benue State. The APC managed to divide them there. And they succeeded the same in Kogi and in Kwara, where once the governor, crossed over, it was, the APC was likely and did.
But did it work in Rivers and Ondo?
No, unfortunately, in Rivers State, I will say this point blank. I think Amechi made a calculated error. He should never have walked away from the polling by insisting that where is the result sheets. I have participated in the conduct of election 2003, 2007, 2011. I, worked with INEC in Lagos State. You don't go there and ask, where is the result sheet? But because he had suspicion, that some other things might be done, what he should have done is to participate and wait and see whether the things were properly done or entered. He should never have walked away. I think Okorocha made the same mistake in Imo. They should never walk away, because when you walk away, whatever the outcome, you cannot fault it or you cannot argue. That's what the law says. You understand me? So the people who want to participate in the election must be dogged, must be patient, and must endure. And I give it to the Nigerian people. They waited and waited and waited and waited until they got the opportunity to vote. And we also, the whole nation, we waited and waited and waited until the result was announced last night. So it has always, it has been good all around this time.
Okay, Mr. Additional, let me bring you. He said something about propaganda. Let's look at the amount of propaganda that was used by both parties, mudslinging here and there. But at the end of the day, what do you think, how would you rate the effect of propaganda in this election?
Yes, I think all the parties, we can say one used it more than the other, as submitted to the dictum of all is fair in love and war. They threw, they threw everything into it. They threw like I said, and like some people have said, the only thing they didn't throw at one candidate was the kitchen sink. They threw every other thing at him. But you found out that it began to boomerang. It began to really boomerang. I had a lot of people say it, that the moment they see one party spokesman on television or they hear him already, they get angry because they don't like the things he's saying. And then it began to boomerang against his party. So you found that propaganda got to a point that it began to have deleterious effect on those who are using it. Both sides used it. But I think one went overboard in that things that people will naturally want to respect, family life, health, and things like that, they used it. and it began to then work against them.
Well, let's look at this issue of tenure, this sense of entitlement, and it's our turn, we need to do 2 terms, that sense of entitlement, as it were. Do you think that we're beginning to enter an era of when we can actually say whether or not you get another term depends on how well you behave in office?
Yes, thank you very much. I think, the culture or the civic culture of the Nigerian political process and political life is that, we believe wrongly or rightly that it's our turn because of this zoning thing that political parties have been adopting over the years. That if, we now have 6 geopolitical zones, and if it is zoned to our geopolitical zone, we will see it as it's our turn. But unfortunately, now the voters, the Nigerian public, they are now saying, when you are given a 4-year term, if you perform, then maybe you will get the opportunity to go on. If not, you might not have the opportunity to go on, whether it is zoned to your area or not. And I think it is better for us to imbibe this new way of looking at things, that your going on will be based on performance.
In a way, is that not
and the expectation of the people, whether you deliver the dividends of democracy or not. If you don't, then don't expect us to queue up and vote for you again.
I was going to say, is that not in a way embedded in the Constitution, as in the Nigerian people have the power to say, hey, enough of you, come back?
Yes, but...
So why were Nigerians not using that power?
No, it has been subverted before by the political parties. The stronger you are as a political party, the stronger you can present a candidate. And once that candidate goes through the primaries and get the nomination, the candidate knows for sure is likely to win. But now, with the present result we have seen so far across the board, that is for the Senate, for the House of Rep, and for the presidency, it is no longer business as usual. You have to work hard